We're moving right along with our Commander 2016 deck coverage. In this video, we're discussing everything Stalwart Unity, the Blacklist Group Hug Commander strategy. In case you missed our epic discussions on Event Superiority or Breed Lethality, you can check those out right here. Super easy. Ton of research dumped into them. I'm a little proud, I won't lie. With all that said, we have a ton to get into, so no more wasting time. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, remember to hit that like button. Helps out a lot. Stalwart Unity is led by Kynaios and Tiro of Miletus. 1 red, 1 green, 1 white, and 1 blue for a 2/8 legendary creature human soldier. Yes, they are an openly gay couple. For the millionth time, they're adorable. Deal with it. Anyways, at the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Each player may put a land card from their hand onto the battlefield, then each opponent who didn't draws a card. K and T have a clear purpose. Love everyone. 4 mana for a 2/8 clearly spells out defensive creature. At the beginning of your end step, you just hug everyone a little bit. Of course, you do get more of that hug. You get to draw a card and put a land card down. Your opponents do one or the other. So while they are advantaged by this ability, so are you. Stalwart Unity follows in the footsteps of K and T, manipulating draws, land plays, and incorporating a solid prison strategy. This deck is a lot more fun than it looks. Unlike both Event Superiority and Breed Lethality, the partner commanders in Stalwart Unity aren't as directly synergistic with their lead commander. To be fair, this is probably because synergizing with a group hug commander isn't so easy. However, they do a decent job at perpetuating the whole don't ever touch me mentality we're going for. Ludwig Necro Alchemist is designed to prevent players from attacking or targeting you. As a matter of fact, your opponents get cards for players other than you losing life. Talk about incentive. Crom Ludwig's Opus is one of the more aggressive cards in the deck. 5 mana for a 4/4 flyer with haste is nothing to ignore. The ability's okay, rewarding you for your opponent's ambition, but it's nothing too crazy. Lastly, Sidar Kondo represents the commander that doesn't really do much for the pre-constructed deck, but is clearly meant for a specific purpose. When we talk about upgrades to the deck, we'll discuss Sidar Kondo. When the deck comes out of the box, he's not all that powerful, even though he does synergize with our twin daddy commanders. All in all, these partner commanders are alright, but none of them blow me away. Let's get into the meat of the deck. Stalwart Unity is trying to do a few things. First, the deck is designed to discourage attacks against you while encouraging attacks against others. Second, it's trying to accelerate the game state to a point where you and all your friends are laughing and having fun, just no one's having as much fun as you. We'll begin with the globally beneficial creatures to show you what I mean. Veteran Explorer gives everyone basic lands. Humbled Defector is essentially letting everyone draw 2 cards over and over again. Orzhov Advocus lets all players pump their creatures while keeping you safe. And Selvala Explorer Return gives everyone a card and use some mana and life gain. These 4 cards exemplify what we're trying to do. Discourage attacks against you, help out everyone. This is real chaos. I did mention that this was a prison deck, and I wasn't joking. What that means is that the strategy is designed to stop opponents from attacking you. You can discourage opponents from attacking you, but sometimes they just really want to be jerks. That's where prison cards come in. The deck includes Guafa Hazid, Selfless Squire, Windborn Muse, and Kazul, Tyrant of Cliffs. Guafa straight up pacifies creatures. The Squire fogs and gets huge at the same time, Windborn Muse forces attacks to attack you, and Kazul gives you free blockers. If you make attacking you miserable, players won't attack you as much. I know, crazy revelation, right? Hashtag analysis. As you'll see in a minute, a lot of this deck draws cards for everyone, lets players put a ton of lands on the battlefield. There's a lot going on. The top of the deck's creature curve reflects this, and also, more prison goodness. Psychosis Crawler is counting on card draw for days. Great way to siphon the game away from everyone at the table. Realm Seekers is absurd in any group hug deck, especially one that's so focused on opponents drawing cards. Rubble Hulk takes advantage of the ramp spells in the deck, and Blazing Archon is just, it's Blazing Archon. Come on. Including Zedru is a nice touch, but in this precon there are limited uses for it. A Crow and Horus and the aforementioned Humble Defector are 2 great synergies, but with a dedicated Zedru deck, there are so many more. Still, the reprint is most welcome, so I had to mention it. The group hugging doesn't stop with creatures. As we move into spells, things get even more ridiculous. Collective Voyage, Minds Aglow, Tempt with Discovery, Reverse the Sands. Do you see what this deck is trying to do? You're basically trying to pump everyone up to oblivion and just make sure you don't die in the process. All these spells are going to be mutually beneficial, at least to, most players. Of course, sometimes you just have to lay down the law, which is why we're looking at Blasphemous Act, a Wave of Reckoning, specifically good in a deck full of creatures with more toughness than power. Speaking of power, Reigns of Power is a ridiculous card. Oblation, Beast Within, Swords to Plowshares, Entrapment Maneuver. When you hug someone, have a knife ready, just in case. That's what's going on here. Genius build for non-creature spells. Now let's talk enchantments. Rites of Flourishing and Evolutionary Escalation continue the group hug theme while also benefiting you greatly, but the real power in the enchantments, Prison Strategy. Ghostly Prison, Propaganda, Sphere of Safety. Talk about discouraging attacks. No one's going to want to go through the trouble of messing with you. It'll make them vulnerable, and what are they really gaining when you have so many ways to either mitigate damage, block their annoyances, or just kill their creatures outright? It's the beauty of prison decks. Notable artifacts in the deck include Imperial Plate, because you're going to have so many cards in your hand, it's hilarious. Temple Bell to, get more cards. Venser's Journal, valuable reprint, helps you to not have to worry about maximum hand size, while gaining you approximately a bajillion life per turn. Let's see what's next. Keening Stone, because win conditions do have to exist, say hello to the Mill Factory. And last, but definitely not least, Assault Suit. What a beautiful card. You can equip your creature and give it to each of your opponents to attack each other, never you, and they can't sacrifice the creature. How is this not beautiful? Oh god, I love group hug decks. One last note about the main deck, the lands are on point. Not only are you getting what you expect in Ash Barrens and Command Tower, but this one comes with Homeward Path and Forbidden Orchard. That's some land value right there. Good stuff. One quick note, the Forbidden Orchard is included in the deck to synergize with Oath of Druids, but that card isn't particularly effective in this pre-con build. Overall, Stalwart Unity is a solid introduction to the group hug archetype in Commander. You're getting some great staples at a crazy discounted price for the sealed product. Veteran Explorer, Guafa Hazid, Selvala, Realm Seekers, Rites of Flourishing, Venser's Journal, Tempt with Discovery, Collective Voyage. The quality of cards in Stalwart Unity, very impressive. We're talking about a deck that lets you play Zedru and Selvala together. There's something truly beautiful about that. Alright, time to talk upgrades. Oh, there is so much to cover, ugh. Now, Stalwart Unity is a skeleton build of a solid group hug commander strategy. As such, there are quality of life improvements to be made. First things first, before we do anything else, we're bringing in the Happy Hippo. Feldegriff and Zedru in the same deck? Come on, that's just the dream right there. Absolutely an auto-include. Next up, we need more universal card draw, mostly because it synergizes with a lot of what's in the pre-con. We're looking for cards like Howling Mine, Gyra Per Orrery, Dictative Crew Fix, Prosperity. All great cards. Since we're going to be drawing a ton of cards, Venser's Journal isn't enough hand size insurance. Reliquary Tower is a must-add. Thought Vessel, same thing. Now, if half of our deck is drawing cards and being rewarded for it, we can choose between two strategies for the other half. Either going full Zedru and donating Hilarity, or going real deep in the prison strategy. Let's discuss both. If you enjoy Zedru and you want to bring more donation awesomeness into the deck, you could totally do that. Illusions of Grandeur, Statecraft, and Steel Golem all love being donated and offered harmlessly, or traded at the bazaar. There's so many options. Actually, you know what? We don't even have to choose between prison and donating shenanigans. We can do both, cause we're all the colors. This deck is just getting better and better. Let's add in some Grid Monitor, Aggressive Mining, Ristic Study, Light Minefield. What a collection! Just all the most annoying cards in one place. I thought Zedru was annoying as a Jeskai commander, but adding green to the mix really gives it some flair. Let me explain. We get to run Dictate of Karametra, New Frontiers, Heartbeat of Spring, Heartwood Storyteller. Come on, you have to be coming around to this idea, right? The ultimate group hug strategy. It's so beautiful, it really is. Of course, K and T aren't only good for hugging groups. They're also good for being real sneaky. Let's get into some other archetypes. The Melitist lovers scream landfall, they just do. Add in Exploration, Burgeoning, Oracle of Moldiah, Karametra God of Harvest. Cards like these, along with the ramp spells that already come in the deck, great start to a solid landfall strategy. We're looking for interesting payoff cards, so Avenger of Zendikar is a huge win condition, Rampaging Balos, Omnith, Locus of Rage, Ulvenwald Hydra. Basically anything giant that benefits from lands entering the battlefield, or simply having a crapload of lands out there. Add in a sweet land sacrifice engine with Knight of the Reliquary, Sylvan Safekeeper, Constant Miss, and Splendid Reclamation, and you're already halfway to a landfall deck that could easily replace Omnith Locus of Rage. It's just one direction to consider. I would say the next most popular strategy I've seen for K&T would be Assault Formation, something like Doran but without black. And I gotta say, I'm not a fan. I don't find it particularly deep. I don't think it's as consistent as Doran, and you lose a lot by not running black. I mean, you lose a lot. You lose Doran himself, Tree of Perdition, Sapling of Kolthanor, the new partner commander who is perfect for that deck. There's just too much you lose by not having black, at least to me. Instead of this, we're gonna talk control, because believe it or not, these guys set up to be a sick control commander. I know it may seem weird, but with Kynaios and Tiro at the helm, you're both drawing cards and playing extra lands. That's ramp and fuel right there. Two things a control deck desperately needs to survive. Think about it. Because you're in Jeskai colors, you have all the normal control spells. Supreme Verdict, Cyclonic Rift, Counterflux, Wrath of God, anything you could want. But thanks to our new delicious commander, we get to put in Crozan Grip, Eternal Witness, Acidic Slime, Seedborn Muse. Solid inclusions in this type of control strategy that's looking to draw the game out. Add in the prison spells that we spoke about before, and you have a solid control deck to work with. For some additional suggestions, I'd run Thalia's, both of them, Enlightened Tutor, Mystical Tutor, Worldly Tutor, all the tutors. And again, we're running 4 colors, so we can go deep in each of them. Sphinx's Revelation, Wargate, Boros Charm, Chaos Warp. You can take all the most powerful control spells from 4 different colors and just jam them into one deck. I'm not joking. I think this commander is powerful as a control commander. I think the high toughness and assault formation are a smokescreen. I'm certainly going to be building this out as a control deck. It's impressive, even at just a glance. So what do you think? Is Stalwart Unity a deck that you're interested in? Do you like the group hug mentality of Commander? I will say it takes a certain type of person to enjoy playing that type of deck, but trust me, when you really get into it, it is super fun. Personally, I think Stalwart Unity gives players a lot of group hug and, more importantly, prison staples that they might not already have. Solid cards that have a variety of uses in the format. Overall, I think it's a sweet deck out of the box and would definitely be fun to play, especially in a multiplayer setting. So again, please let me know what you think. I'd love to hear what you have to say, and we only have 2 more of these left. Which one would you like to see first? As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. This video is brought to you in part by TCGplayer.com. Stalwart Unity, if you want to buy it right now, this very second, it'll cost you $30 shipped on TCG Player. That is straight up $10 cheaper than the big box stores. If you don't have a local game store or they're overcharging you, this is a great option. Want to take the full dive? You can do that. $130 for all 5 Commander 2016 decks. Sealed, shipped out immediately. Now that's a great deal. Click the links if you're interested, and enjoy.